Let's do this.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited.
I got musicians in the building.
Yes.
Yo, and hold up, Rick, before you record.
Uh-oh.
That's another thing I do. I do it with some of the female artists. I be fucking with them. Some of them I be real.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get in with you for real about musicianship.
Yeah, we gonna look.
And if it's somebody you really ain't digging,
I'm gonna say it. Y'all,
all right.
My fans know I don't bite my tongue for nobody,
all right,
man.
I may mention a name.
Because first of all, they already know. Don't hate the Slayer, hate the game. And with my accomplishments, big or small, I'm not a hater. So if I say I don't like something, just simply because I don't like it. It's just not about whether who's better or not. They know. Look, my fan. Look, he know.
He come in his head like, oh, don't do it, Bobby. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
No, my fans know. My fans know. That's the they don't expect nothing less from me. Right. They know that shit. So let's get it in.
So we got a conversation, Rick.
Real. Rick gonna like this one. I promise you.
I got it now.
Let's go for it.
He said he gonna buy something. Everybody else was like, what? What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
Real shit.
So we just gonna get it. All right, let's go, Rick. Let's go.
Let's go for it.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Bobby Simmons is in the building. And as you can see, in the place to be, sitting directly next to me, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Law Planet 12 is in the building.
Hey.
In the building,
What's
baby.
up, baby?
He is finally here.
Yes.
And I'm going to explain it to everybody real quick. It took a minute for me to get this young man in the building. Well, one, you crazy busy. Because I know exactly what's happening with you, what you're doing.
God is
and
good.
he also been in LA. You know what? Actually, you know what? This is my boy. This is my fam. So there's no jealousy here with me and this dude.
Man.
But I am a little bit jealous with this dude real quick. I'm going to tell you why before we start talking to him. This brother was in LA with the one and only Leon Silvers.
Yes.
I'm done.
The Godfather.
I'm done. I met Leon Silvers one time, and only do I wish I could sit in the studio with Mr. Leon Silvers. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about that because that's family to you.
Yes, absolutely.
And actually, I just wanted to get you comfortable, so you got a minute to talk about some stuff?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's do it.
Law's in the building. Y'all better get ready because the questions I'm not even going to ask some questions.
Raw and uncensored. It's going down like Jim Brown at a pimp convention. I promise you. It's going to be real up in here, as always.
We just going to talk, so y'all sit tight. Bobby be back with my man, Law. Check it!
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. My special guest, Law, is in the building.
Yes.
And once again, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to come
thank you for
down.
having me here. It's an honor. It's a dream come true, as you know. Me being a long-time hip-hop fan and co-conspirator involved in the culture from me to you. This is an honor. I've been waiting for this moment since watching flavor videos of my Uncle Kevin in Crown Heights, St. Mark's Avenue,
no doubt,
apartment 3B. We wouldn't, before he would go to the club or when he would come back, or if I wasn't out doing the show, me and him would be in that room together watching you. And then, of course, you know, I wouldn't be, my blueprint, Planet 12, on a live musician level wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for Stetsasonic. So for me, and I'm so glad that people like my big bro Questlove, they let it be known from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, these guys are the first. So for me, talking all that jazz and sound, like all that stuff, I grew up with it, and then to be part of the culture, which is part of my own borough, it's an honor for me. So thank you for having me here, man.
Appreciate
I'm
that,
excited.
Man. I definitely appreciate it. But, you know, I got you here, man, because there's so much people need to know about you. Maybe some do and some don't. Before I dab into your richness of musician work and what you've done, give a little bit of a background about yourself, because this is actually a family, you know, traded down to you in the music industry. And it's a rich culture of musicians in your family. Talk about it.
Yeah, man. Okay, well, first starting off, you know, born and raised, Brooklyn, St. Mark's Avenue, Albany Projects, Crown Heights, #1, home to so many different different legendary entertainers and performers, those who have become a part of my life through that. You know, first starting off with the legendary plethora of Brooklyn groups, going from my uncle's Crown Heights Affair,
Yes.
my uncle's and my aunt Sky, you know, Mandrill, a lot of brass construction, and of course, BT Express, who was mentored by my legendary grandfather and Blues Hall of Famer Sam Bluesman Taylor,
Yes.
the late. So even growing up in the music, you know, my family was my Juilliard for music. So of course, my incredible mom, Sandra Taylor, you know, first place winner at the Apollo, backup for many different artists and people that came through in a Brooklyn level. And here's the interesting thing, you know, her and my cousin, the incredible Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and
sir.
my aunt Dolores Tate, you know, they were all in the group together. That's where I get my harmonies from, being up under them for so long. And of course, you know, my late great uncle Bobby Taylor, my main teacher, Bobby Real Deal Taylor, 13-time winner at the Apollo, as well as my legendary cousin Rubber Band, who's known for dancing with the IOU dancers, Little Sean special ed videos. He's known for his work with Mariah Carey. They had a group called the Mercedes Misfits who were on tour with Mariah. It's so many. And of course, my older brother, Casino Chip, who came up in Marcy Projects and started out with the original plethora of all the guys that would later become, of course, the Rockefeller movement.
Right.
My big bro, Sauce Money, his older brother, Maverick, Memphis Bleak, and of course, Sean Carter, Jay-Z, and that was the situation. I can go on and on, but that's the main part of some of the famous members of my family that I grew up under in terms of coming up in this music game. So even if I didn't want to do music, it was already given to me just in that aspect. So again, my family was my Juilliard for music, and it was all there.
Right now, actually, you play. How many instruments do you play?
7. You know, I don't play horn. I always give credit to the horn player because you know, I wish I can arrange horns, I can write out parts and stuff like that, and I can imitate. But I play everything except for horns.
Right.
Anything I get my hands on that's string related or keyboard related, I pretty much can play. And I play harmonica as well. So.
Right. Okay. Now, actually, I watch you play guitar, man, and what's crazy is watching you play guitar. Did you self-taught yourself that?
Yes, I'm very much self-taught. Now, of course, you know, even with being self-taught, I taught myself enough to know that when I got around some of the right people, because I grew up around nothing but OGs on the street level and on the music level. So I always I was always already, you know, critically thinking at 7 to 8 years old on how to hear stuff and teaching myself how to play. So of course, like any other kid, you get a keyboard, Casio back then. You know how that was. As a kid, as an 80s baby, you get that. And then of course, my mother bought my first guitar. And my granddad being my first guitar hero, and of course discovering Jimi Hendrix and then later on Prince after that, I wanted to play everything that I heard. So, of course, through ear, without any type of theory until that came years later. But more so, learning by ear was very important. And of course, even though I'm self-taught, when I got around the right cast, like, you know, some of my mother's friends and people who were in various groups like Brass Construction. So I was around Anderson from Crown Heights Affair. I learned a lot from him because they used to babysit me.
Oh, okay.
So for me, they was always, hey, we want to teach Law some stuff. And then my mother's friend, here's a little great history for you. One of my first guitar influences was a guy by the name of Steve. I know you know this guy, Steve Standard. My mother was part of the group that he had called the Mega Musicians. And of course, later on, when that didn't work for him, he turned into Strafe, a.k.a. Set It Off on the Left.
Yes.
I saw that being recorded. I remember when it first got recorded, and I remember he asked me, hey, Lawrence, what do you think about this song? And I'm like, I like it. And about 5-6 months later, it's on the airwaves everywhere. So I had bragging rights for like a year. I'm like, Mom, that's Uncle Steve. That's Uncle Steve. So, and he, you know, but Steve is one of the baddest guitar players in the world. And I learned a lot about production from him and his partner, Radar, who's like my uncle. Those are guys, I grew up in the culture of it. So being self-taught was good. But when I got around my grandfather and all the luminaries, I learned a lot more in addition to being self-taught.
Right.
So I learned, oh, that's my A chord? Okay, I can play that. Or that's a minor. Okay, that's what that is. So self-taught, but of course, you know, we all have to have help along the way to be influenced.
Right.
Everybody does. So
Yeah, well, that's great, man. I mean, because like I said, you know, I watch you and I listen to you play. Actually, I came to one of your shows, your performance. You did a tribute to Prince.
Yes.
At
Great show.
the Bitter End.
Yes.
And which I love it. And what's crazy is that, you know, I still have the footage of it. I taped that damn whole show.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got it.
My boy E gonna kill me.
I
He's like,
got
hey,
it.
there's a footage of the show, but I didn't even know. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
sent it to you.
Please do.
But you know, let's jump forward real quick because again, there's so much richness in what you do as a musician. But I want to quickly go into the Planet 12 movement.
Yes.
The Planet 12 movement. Now, help me out. Though we are boys.
Yes.
But sometimes I get lost in things.
Uh-huh.
Is the Planet 12 movement a part of the P-Funk All-Stars from a backing of that movement, or this is just something you created for your own?
You know,
You know,
that's a great question. That's why I knew coming here this was going to get deep. Okay, here's the thing. I created Planet 12 based off of my love for science fiction, comic books. Stan Lee, rest in peace. And of course, the way my musical worlds were all coming together at such a young age. You know, again, I'm 6 years old. You know, there's hip hop, there's funk, there's rock and roll, there's heavy metal, there's jazz, there's pop. This is all in my household, and then even outside of my household. You know, I'm getting influenced from everything from Led Zeppelin to New Edition to Blue Magic to Nancy Wilson to Patty. You know, I'm listening to everything. And people used to always be like, man, Law's on his own planet. He just listens to all kind of stuff. And some stuff that a lot of my friends couldn't really get with, but then they learned to really appreciate. It's like, damn, Law been listening to that shit since we were kids. And that whole thing. So I needed, creating the whole thing is like, okay, I have this vision of bringing all these styles together, but I have to have a name behind it. And of course, how funny that you mentioned P-Funk, because at 10 years old, courtesy of my incredible legendary uncle, Tony T. Funk Austin, who played with James Brown and with Kool and the Gang for a while at some point too. I was listening to a lot of funk during that period. And of course, I came across the Mothership Connection album because at that time, Atomic Dog was popular. So I didn't know anything. Being an 80s baby, we have to go backwards. So I didn't know anything about Dr. Funkenstein and Motor Booty Affair and all that shit. And the thing is that made me go backwards. So when I saw George, a very young George in his prime on the cover, Skinny George, on the cover with his legs up, and he's on a UFO, and then on the back of the album cover, the UFO is in a ghetto alleyway. I'm like, that describes me because I'm out of this world musically, but I'm still Brooklyn Hood, St. Mark's Ave all day. He showed me the way. So from that point on, and at the time I didn't, of course I didn't know him, I didn't meet him yet. At the time I said, I'm gonna create Planet 12. And I told my mother, I said, Mom, one day I'm gonna join the P-Funk. And she was just like, say it, baby, I believe you. And then of course, 15 something years later, and now for the last 17 years, I'm a prominent P-Funk member. So basically, to answer your question, I spoke it into existence, but if it wasn't for George Clinton, I would not have discovered, because I knew that even back then that only he would understand how crazy my musical mind was. And Prince being that, but then again, it makes sense because Prince was influenced by him too.
Exactly.
As well as Fishbone, Lenny Kravitz, Bad Brains, and a lot of other people who I ended up looking up to. But George was the spearhead for all the musical chaos that was going on inside my brain. And people were like, well, we can't market that. And it was George's like, I'm going to make y'all motherfuckers like this.
Exactly.
And I took that same attitude when I created Planet 12 at 12 years old. So, and 12 is my favorite number. So it all has significance. And 12 is, as we know, the L is the 12th letter of the alphabet. It just made a lot of sense.
And actually, you have a good relationship with George Clinton too. He's like a godfather.
He's like my father.
Man.
George believed in me when nobody did. And the thing is that for me to come, the way that I was coming up, doing these shows and working with different people and performing in clubs, like the Bar Bat, Shadows, Jimmy's Cafe, like all that, the plethora of the 90s. I was up in there. I'm the only young dude in there besides my brother and my cousins and whatnot. And we doing it up. And then I would tell them all the time, they'd be like, damn, Lord know about all that P. And then here I was in Atlanta. I'm recording in a session, and George walks through the door. So, it's funny how life works. And I always tell people all the time on my Facebook pages, dreams do come true. You just got to keep believing and keep grinding, because I told my mother, I said, I'm going to work with George Clinton one day.
Right.
And for me to be calling him dad at this stage in the game, because he's been nothing like a father to me. He took care of me. He gave me my chance and gave me my first major industry check, because I was making money before then doing clubs, but he gave me that guap just for doing production. That's when I realized the value of what I work, because he really he loved the fact that he would always like, I'm entertainment. I can hear the P-Funk influencing, but you got your own shit going too. And he saw that.
Right.
Even though he knew he could see the obvious influences, me throwing this up and all that, but he really saw Planet 12 and my vision within the fact that I was heavily influenced by him and the rest of the P-Funk dynasty.
Right.
So,
Now I'm going to get controversial real quick.
Let's do it.
Speak the truth.
Always.
This part is a serious part, because this is something I've been hearing in the circle because we're musicians.
Absolutely.
What I'm understanding, I don't understand what's the problem with some of the other members of the P-Funk All-Stars of feeling like you're not worthy to be the upstanding musician that you are, or to be saying that you could go out and continue in the P-Funk All-Stars? Because there's a lot circulating about. I've even seen you speak about it at several times. Never got the full story on why this is supposed to be a family that George sees that everybody. It's supposed to be a family, but you always have those people in the circle that feels like why this kid? There's some people who have that special touch that can continue this thing in flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, enlighten me more, because though we friends and we never spoke.
No. I could. This is as real as it's going to get. Here's the bottom line. Well, first and foremost, actually, it's not the members. I never, for me personally, I never had, like, in my years of of course, the late great Gary Scheider was my roommate, and that's one of my guitar idols. So him, Lodge Curry, shout out to all of them. Shout out to 420 Funk Mob, Enema Squad, Gabe, what's up? All my peoples who I'm close to, who I've been working with in the P-Funk camp for years, there's never been no issue like that. I think you're talking about when I addressed the issue, and I'm not going to say his name, but there was a certain P-Funk archivist that, there's a lot of them, but I'm cool with the majority of all of them, because they've all, I'm not a P-Funk archivist. I have too much time on my hands projecting my own musical vision, and the fact that I'm making sure that my grandfather's legacy lived through. So, of course, I leave the P-Funk archiving to the guys who are really steeped in that. I'm steeped in it too, but not on those levels. So I posted a question, not even a question, it was a statement, because it was a question that they posted, and of course it was an open forum for everybody to answer. And they was just like, well, who's going to lead the P-Funk into the next thing after George retires? Everybody knows he's retiring next year. And I basically said, in a general statement, I said, well, here's the thing. Nobody's going to take George's place. Let's just get that straight. And then number two, there are enough offshoot acts and people, a lot of people who are in the P-Funk camp now, like, the keyboardist Danny has a great project. My incredible brother from another mother, Gary's son, Gary. Gary got a dope-ass album. Hand Me Down Diapers is the truth. And then all of George's grandkids, Trezay and Scotty Clinton and all of them, like they got dope-ass projects getting ready to come out. And my thing was to them, because what I noticed in this guy's feed is that they were always promoting the old school, which I get it. That's what it's there for. But not enough light was being given to guys like myself and all the other offshoot acts who have come through the camp and worked with George and put out great projects, but they're not getting promoted. And I expressed that in the post. So, of course, he must have felt the way. So my post gets deleted. And to me, that's disrespectful. If you deleting my post, that's showing me that means you got a problem. And then later, see, the thing is that it's one thing to have a problem, but then through a very reliable source, because I don't do gossip and I don't do hearsay. I heard this same person was talking shit. When that time we was hanging out in BB King's, I heard that this dude was talking shit behind my back. Now, and everybody that's watching knows already, if they know anything about me, as a Crown Heights, St. Mark's Avenue boy, because I grew up like that. Every issue I've ever had, nobody's never come to my face, because they knew they couldn't just come to my face without some shit happening. It's not about being a threat or being a tough guy. I'm like Mano. I'm big on respect. You know what I mean? Mano said it best. I'm not a savage by no means, but I'm big on respect. And my thing is that if you got the balls to say that to somebody around me and think that it won't get back to me, that's when it's a problem. So, of course, when I went on Facebook, which is the right way, and I addressed it and tagged him and his girl got in. They didn't get in on me, but they was trying to make it, well, this is how he felt, and this is why we deleted the post, and next thing you know, they blocked me. So you're guilty conscious. And I always say, only the guilty gets offended. So that's basically what happened. There's no beef with my P-Funk family, not with my musicians and my friends, because I'm proven. My track record is proven. My name, somebody put my name in Wikipedia. I didn't put my name there. Somebody put it in there because they know about the work that I've done with George, lead singer for 420 Funk Mob. Not the leader, but one of the lead singers in 420 Funk Mob, and the lead singer in Enemy Squad, though, Gabe Gonzalez is the leader and the creator of these P-Funk offshoot groups. I've always played my position. So that's just it.
So there it is. So, so rumors, if it is floating out there, my man Lord just summed it up. Yes, he done summed it up.
Address me.
Enough of the nonsense.
Me.
Now, real quick, man, let's jump real fast into your rich musician work, if we can put it in quickly.
Sure.
The people you work with. First I want to talk about, what was it like working with the beautiful, one and only great Amy Winehouse?
Amy.
Because we worked with Amy for a minute.
Amy, I miss you. Oh, my God, man. What I want the world to know about the late, great Amy Winehouse is Amy knew her shit, man. That's what made me. I mean, I told the story on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and various times that people always ask me how I got the gig and how what went through. I try to summarize it the best way I can. But the thing was just that that's what made me want to sing behind her. Because at that point in my career, I didn't sing behind some people. I I had a pretty healthy platinum resume to start with, and I was choosy. I see a lot of background singers are not choosy.
Right.
I'm choosy because at that point I didn't did the damn thing. So I'm just like, okay, I did Shaka Khan, Freddie Jackson, a few other people, opened up for Mars Ain't the Time, and I'm like, if I'm gonna sing backup behind somebody, new or old school, it gotta mean something. I want to know who it is because my name and my image is attached to it. If we get on the show, and I don't want to sing behind nobody whack. So of course. When I finally got a chance to see who she was, when they offered it to me, that's when I said, well, let me get back to you, because that was my way of saying, let me see what's going on. I Googled on my computer. The first thing that came up was a song called Fuck Me Pumps. And I was already intrigued, because that's the title. And I heard her voice. I heard the jazz. I heard the Lauryn Hill influence. I heard the Ronnie Spector image influence and all that shit. I was done. I said, I called them back. Yes. Let's do this. And boy, Amy, man. Amy believed in me, again, like George, she believed in me when nobody else did. And then, of course, through her boyfriend, who was a fan of my stuff, because he heard, he said, yo, Lord, I heard you rhyme too. And she's like, yeah. I said, I'm a real MC and I'm a real singer. I gave him my thing, never told him to give it to anybody. Didn't tell him to say, play it for Amy so she can make me. None of that. He just was a fan of my voice. He liked what I did. So, of course, he let Amy hear it. The next day, Amy came back to me. She called me Lazy. Lazy, you the shit. You got to open up for me. You have to open up for me. And true to her word, there I was about 2 months later after we did the incredible 2007 MTV Movie Awards. There I was, her opening act, true to her word. Her and her team. Shout out to Ray, her former manager, and the Dap Kings as well, and my boy Al Street, who made the connection happen, as well as Neil Sugarman. Amy knew her music, man. One thing about her, she wasn't this fluke artist like most London people. She did this homework. Her London guys, some of the guys in the band, they were serious about music and the history of it. I tested her one time. We had breakfast. I said, so I heard the Hathaway line in your song. So what's your favorite Donny Hathaway album? And she looked at me. She's like, I'm going to have to say Extension of a Man, because it's just something. And I was done. After that shit, I was like, she's the fucking truth. Yeah. I miss her, man. I miss her so much, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know what, man? I'm, for one, love talking to people, man, who had great experience with great musicians and great artists. Briefly, if you can, before we talk about the Planet 12 album, your projects that people can purchase and get.
Gotcha.
Real quick, about Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie, my big bro, my Tuskegee, Commodore big bro. Oh, man. I mean, again, growing up in the hood, I had both sides of the fence, because my Uncle T-Funk being a diehard Commodores fan, and I'm not talking about Brick House, 3 Times a Lady. I'm talking about album cuts, Fancy Dancer, Come Inside, and Sorry to Say off the Heroes album, and Sexy Lady from Midnight Magic. I'm talking about the deep shit. And
but Machine Gun was my favorite.
Oh, of course. I mean, Assembly Line, Walter Orange on drums, and Lionel's sinister vocal. My thing is that to go from singing Penny Lovett in my grandmother's living room in Brooklyn to being on stage with him and being close to him, that's just, for me, again, another one of those dreams come true, and it was organic because it wasn't forced. And shout out to Marianne Bennett and Element Music, because they made that connection happen from when we started working with them and various people out in Hong Kong. And of course, they would look at us like, well, Lord gonna be excited, because everybody that knows me, that's been around him, they know how deep of a Lionel fan I am, because I stood up for him when he went through that period when people were like, oh, he's a sellout. I said, no, he's taking it to the next level, because the thing is that he never forgot where he came from. He wrote songs that were simple. His intention was never to become a balladeer. He just wrote songs that connected.
Right.
He didn't sit there and say, I'm going to write a song in this hope if we get to, no. But what it did was it gave him a diverse career.
Yeah.
Black, pop, country. I mean, he's one of the guys like George Clinton. Lionel Richie showed me that I could do it all. I don't have to be limited to just R&B and funk. I could do pop. I could do country. I can do jazz. One of my favorite Lionel Richie album is Louder Than Words. And on that album, he got a song called Love Is at First Sight, which is strictly jazz. And he's playing saxophone for the first time in like 15, 20 years.
Yeah, because that's what he was. He was a sax player.
And people don't know that. My relationship with him is incredible. I love him to death. We check up on each other like every other 3 or 4 days just for him to hit me up out of nowhere. And I think we're working again this year in Hawaii. So we're going to be doing some things really, really soon. But that's my big brother, and I love him, man.
Cool, man. I mean, listen, one what I'm going to have to do with my man Law, man, is because, big shout out to all my podcast people and all my iHeart people.
Yes, yes.
I have to do a 2B continuations with this man when he comes back from Hawaii. But before I get him out this room, please tell everybody about your Planet 12 album, your project, and where they can actually purchase your music for those who are not that aware of your fantastic work, man. I already gave approval on that album, man.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me coming from you, man. I appreciate that. Okay, the Planet 12 Syndrome, my first debut album, can be found on all digital platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, any digital outlet you can think of, it can be found. And my live album, which is my second album as well, the Planet 12 live sessions, can also be found on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, and all that stuff.
Yes. And that's definitely a treat. But actually, real quick, what's your favorite? I know all of them your babies. I know they all your babies.
Yes, it's like my children. So,
but what's the one like? Yo, let's get this one in because this is the one.
What, on stage?
A song from your album.
Oh, I would have to say, it's a good question. I've never been asked that before. I'm going to have to go with, it's a tie.
Okay.
It's between Get Down,
All
because
right.
if you know, we go into a whole thing after that, because Get Down is like my salute to the up-tempo funk that I grew up on. So when we do Get Down, I combinate it with Jungle Boogie, Body Heat by James Brown, and Cameo's Rigor Mortis. So I always combine like the section. And then, of course, get Hollywood on them because I get to go from hip-hop to the extreme rock and roll heavy metal side of who I am. So those are my two favorite ones to do on stage, and the crowd loves when we go there with them because they're not expecting it. They're just expecting to see the regular thing, and then when I bust into the 5-minute guitar solos and jumping around and doing splits and jumping on top of pianos and stuff, shout out to Prince, rest in peace.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole, taking all of the things that I learned from all the performers who I grew up on and who influenced me, those are two songs that exemplify the most of everything that I am. So I love performing those two songs on stage.
My man, Lord, y'all need to see his show too, man. And
Tell him.
2019, will we see you in New York?
Yes. We're working on that now. We're planning a show for the Cutting Room, and especially the Bitter End, because a lot of people may not know, and I have to let this be clear, and you can look it up for yourself. But I am the first rap artist and the first P-Funk artist to play the Bitter End. I opened the door for all of the hybrid hip-hop acts. 'Cause before I came along, the Bitter End didn't allow any form of hip-hop in the building. But because when they saw I had a live band that was diverse, and shout out to Pete Fogel for making that happen, because he known me since I was 16 playing in my aunt's band, and he let the powers that be know, no, this ain't your average hip-hop. This is some other stuff.
Right.
So that was almost like 9 or 10 years ago, and ever since then, they've had a plethora of acts come through that has done hip-hop. So I opened the door for that to happen. So we're going to be planning another date for that soon, and some other places as well around New York. So
All right, well, cool. Y'all check that and wait for that. You can check Law on his Facebook too. I'm friends with him on Instagram, and we talk and just make sure we are informed of everything that he's doing.
Yes.
This is my man Law. We're gonna do a 2B continuation with this because there's some other things I wanted to get in with you, but I wanted to get the most important parts, and I did.
Absolutely.
Which I appreciated.
Thank you, man.
Now I'm gonna leave Law, but before I leave Law,
Uh-oh.
here's my question. Real quick.
Go ahead. Go for it.
There's a lot of acts out there, man. Corny.
Oh, hell yeah. Without question.
Musicianship, they're not doing it.
Without question.
You name me one that you think that's like, I'm not really feeling them. I know there's a lot, but you can name me one.
Ooh.
You can just say, you know what, I'm not feeling them because.
Shit. Damn.
Unless you just want me to pull somebody out the ranks, but I don't want to do that.
No, you can pull. I would rather you pull somebody out the ranks in that situation.
Okay, all right. Well, listen. And well, you know what? I'm gonna go hip hop with you. I'm gonna go hip hop with you.
I think that's easier because.
And keep it funky with me.
No, I am.
If it's good, say nah, Pete. Well, because we can have that conversation.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Go
All
for
right.
it.
So now we talking in hip hop.
Uh huh.
Let's be for real. 9.
He's okay. He's all right.
I'm just saying.
He's okay.
That's just it.
He's okay. I'm being honest. Like I mean, the thing is that here's my thing with most of those kind of acts, and I'm gonna be honest with you. This because everybody always be like, "Oh, the old school trap," I said, no. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna be very candid with this. When it comes to trap music, see, everything has a place to me, but my thing is that you can play this shit, but don't leave the shit out that created this shit. have a balance. See,
Yes.
you got to remember, my whole life and career is a testament to balance. Because
Right.
some days I'm rock and roll, some days I'm hip hop. When I'm in a club, I turn up the. I love Migos. I love Migos. I love Cardi B. But there are a lot of other acts who I'm not a fan of, and honestly, a lot of it becomes the same shit.
There you go.
Do something different, and that's usually when I tune out. So if somebody new and they just doing the same shit over and over, it gets corny to me. Or then you got somebody who's different, like one of my students who goes by the name of Yellow Zoo. That boy is a beast because he grew up under the real shit, but he's doing the new thing. And I love what he's doing because he's different. He's singing, he's rhyming, and he got lyrics. Shout out to Yellow Zoo. Like that's different. But some of these other guys, they're not switching it up. There's no different in their thing. I love Travis Scott. There's a lot of other acts who I do like
Right.
that I think are dope that people should listen to. So it's not no thing of, oh, we hate trap music. It's just that for me, you got to be saying something.
Yeah.
And some of the actual acts do be saying like, well, they don't say. I said, no, you're not listening. I'm an MC and I'm a lyricist, so I can hear shit when I know what they're trying to do, or if they're just that different, I'm into them.
Right.
But I don't like a lot of it. Some of it I like, a lot of it I don't like.
Yeah.
And that's just simple as that. So now, like I say, he's okay, but I'm just like, it's almost like, yeah, okay. Well, and then I tune out. It's
Well,
like, it's the same shit.
There it is. That's the answer. Tune out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got to do a continuation with my man, Law. Please promise me, man, on camera, on air.
On air.
That you promise to come back. When you come back from Hawaii,
Yeah.
let's set a date so you can tell us about it.
Uh-huh.
Keep us informed on what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Planet
absolutely.
12.
Planet 12 Law on Instagram, Planet 12 Law on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, I promise you, part 2 continuation with my man, Law, in the
Absolutely.
building. My man, Law, thanks a lot for coming
Thank you
down.
so much, man. Appreciate it.
Love
Thank
for
you.
this dude right here. My man Law, Planet 12.
Planet
We taking
12,
off, baby.
Yes.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Aha.
There it is. We'll be back, y'all.
Yes.
Check it.
Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you're listening to Party1019.com. Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you are listening to the Bobby Simmons Show on Party1019.com. Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you're listening to my single, Get Down, on the Bobby Simmons Show on Party1019.com. Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you're listening to my single, Brooklyn, on the Bobby Simmons Show on Party1019.com. Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you're listening to my latest single, Quarter, on the Bobby Simmons Show on Party1019.com. Hey, yo, what's up? This is the LAW, a.k.a. the most talented kid in the music biz, and you're checking out Mic Check 1-2 with Bobby Simmons.
Y'all understand? Planet 12, baby.
That's right.
Understand it.
You better know it.
That's it.
Yeah.